Welcome back, All Right Podcast. We got Grant here, Elijah, back again for another episode, another week. What we're going to talk about this week is Stafford got his first career playoff win, so congrats to him on that. I've been saying it, for a while now. When he wins, we win, regardless of what team he's on. That's how it works. That's what we're going with because we had him the longest here in Detroit. So I'm definitely rooting for him. We're also going to talk about Ben Simmons. Some of them trade rumblings are starting to kind of show their face again. Potential trades, whatever it kind of looks like. Pistons, it was a source that kind of confirmed that they made an offer for him, and the Sixers declined. So about that, and then Michigan basketball, officially done with football season. We're just gonna talk about what Michigan basketball kind of needs to do, and see what that we'll kind of show what that magic number is as far as what they need, as far as more games need to win and make the tourney. So, kick things off, man. I'm gonna shoot it to you. Like I said, Stafford got his first win. I guess we can kind of talk about what did you like? We just saw on Monday as far as what he's able to do, and then talk to me about what you think about this weekend, that matchup in Tampa Bay against the GOAT.
Yeah, so I first of all, I want to say just congratulate Matthew Stafford for getting his first playoff win. I think that's 13 years in the making. Yeah. I think he's lost a handful of playoff games, a couple of them tough losses to the Cowboys, some questionable calls. So he's definitely paid his dues over the years. So it was just great to see him come out, and I do think it's going to energize him and kind of just having that come off his back. Obviously, you're playing one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time for your second round here, your second playoff game, and the Super Bowl winner from last year. They're obviously hungry still, so I think he has a major task coming up here to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I'm personally rooting for him. I think they can get it done. I think the defense showed you how fierce they can be, and if that defense is going to play anywhere in that realm, it's going to make everything on the offensive side of the ball that much easier. And then it really is just Stafford. He's not this, but he can just become a game manager and just make sure he makes the timely throws when they need it, and let the defense do the rest. And I would say, and I'm going to kick it off to you here in a minute as well, but I would say if the defense has plays anything like that, they're probably going to win because Kyler Murray was running for his life, and that's one of the fastest quarterbacks in the league, probably second to maybe only Lamar Jackson. Maybe he's even quicker. And I would say Brady's probably would have gone down 6-7 times in that game if he because he does not have the mobility, obviously, as a Kyler Murray. So I think they're going to have to do lots of things interesting to try to keep a tight end in, keep a running back there to do things to give Brady a little more time, which hopefully should for my personal preference, hopefully would disturb their offense enough for the Rams to go out and get the dub.
Piggyback off of that, obviously it was great to see, Stafford finally get that monkey off his back. We both kind of talk about it. To me, it's just crazy that he even got most of the criticism that he's gotten. When he was in Detroit, 6-7 different coaches, all different coordinators, just front office not really looking out, for him. And in my opinion, from a team standpoint, trying to set him up for success the best way they could. It was good. Just, like I said, big time Lions fan, hometown fan. Just kind of be able to see him, do his thing. I think this going to be real interesting. So this is how I'm kind of looking at the matchup this weekend. So they played Tampa Bay earlier this year and in LA and beat them pretty handily. It's tough in the NFL to beat a team twice in the same season. So I think just off of that, it's going to be a very interesting game. And then with that being said, the last time they played them, they also didn't have Von Miller. And then also this weekend, the Bucs might not have their starting right tackle that has played 100% of the snaps both of his last two seasons up until when he got hurt in the playoffs last Saturday. When he went down, the Eagles started really just blitzing Brady, sending 4, 5, 6 guys off the edge, things along those lines. So I think it's just going to be really interesting to see if that Rams pass rush. Now, I mean, you got Miller on one side, you got Floyd, the other D on the other side, and Donald in the middle. Sometimes they put Miller and Donald on the same side, which is just insane. And Miller, to me, he looks like he's starting to kind of like, hit his peak. He was hurt a little bit this year and stuff, so he's starting to kind of come into his own. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be crazy. I think I definitely am rooting for Stafford, and I do feel like the Bucs have too many injuries to overcome. Not only are you Brady's missing his right tackle, Leonard Fournette cut up in the air if he'll play or not. And the difference between Leonard Fournette playing like a couple of other guys playing is, Leonard Fournette, better player obviously, but I'm sure he's a lot better in pass blocking as well too.
Right.
To where, against the Eagles, they were getting home. They were making things very, very tough on Tom Brady, even though the game was already pretty much out of hand. I mean, they were up by 31-0 or something like that. They got it pretty quickly on them.
For sure.
Very out of hand, but they definitely made things look – they made the Bucs look very uncomfortable, in that third and fourth quarter when after their right tackle went down. So, yeah, like I said, it's tough to it's tough to beat a team twice. It's tough to beat Brady twice in the same season. It's tough to beat Brady in the playoffs, at home. But, yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, I'm hoping that Stafford is able to continue this streak or just, continue, what he's been doing this season. I feel like the Rams are kind of like what the Bucs were last year, a lot of new pieces, struggle a little bit, catching heat at the right time. So we'll see. But all in all, it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a lot of things happening. A lot of things. I read today that Brady is older than every coach left in the NFC, and I didn't even realize that McVay is 35 years old.
Yeah, did you know that McVay, Shanahan, and LaFleur were all on Washington's staff at one point back in 2014?
Okay, I did not. That's great.
I just saw that today. So that's just another crazy thing.
It is. Washington still is yes.
Yeah.
No, I just I just find that it really. I mean, just to give him his his flowers. It really is incredible how great he is playing late in his career.
Yeah.
And it just is kind of amazing. He's 44 years old.
Yep.
Just what he can kind of put together, and obviously they're going to have an awesome game plan. I'm sure they're going to. I'm drawing a blank on the Rams safety that hasn't played in 2 years. That's currently Weddle. Yeah, yep. Weddle. I'm sure they're going to be picking on him. I don't think Kyler Murray and them did enough of that, but obviously he was running for his life, so it's kind of hard to single out a certain player when you have zero time. So hopefully the D line can disturb. Buccaneers have going on. So, I'm not even going to say I'm really rooting for Stafford. I'm hoping if they do lose, it's a fair loss. The last thing I want to see is some questionable things that get swept under the rug. I think that's a very common strand when you watch Tom Brady teams. I even think they were destined to win, but even finishing that second half of the Eagles game, I thought they just robbed them of a touchdown.
Yeah.
They probably had 120 yards of offense on that last drive, and they end up throwing that pick. And I just felt like they were not going to let them get a touchdown. So I'm hoping if they go out, I'd rather them go out there and just get their asses whooped than have some questionable things happen. But I'm hoping Stafford comes to play. Aaron Donald, obviously Aaron Donald's a beast. It's incredible watching him play. And between him and Von Miller, they should be able to get a handful of sacks.
Yeah.
We didn't mention Jalen Ramsey yet. So,
yeah. And I say this in the most respectful way possible. Stafford just ain't been to this round yet. So that defense really gonna have to show out. They don't this past game against the Cardinals. He only threw the ball 17 times, but Kyler was running for his life. Secondary was playing out of their mind. They just made the Cardinals very uncomfortable very, very early on. They just couldn't recover when it came down to it. I was gonna make.
They were obviously pounding the rock, though. I don't think Cam Akers. I mean, that's just his incredible story this season. uh,
Right.
he was running with intensity. You know, he's running like a guy that knows he probably shouldn't be out there this year.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just interesting to see what all sorry, I lost you for a second there. It's just interesting to see what all they could you know, put together offensively, as far as we seen very little of what they have going on so far.
Yeah. What's going to be interesting too, and I this is one of them games. It's just like when you get to the playoffs, it's just like run game versus like, you know, run defense. Like the Bucs got like top 3 run defense, so you know you're going up against like this rushing attack that, you know, the Rams are starting to kind of build some like real momentum with. So I think it's going to be a great game. My fear, I mean, kind of like you, the refs have been atrocious. They were bad in the Cardinals and the Rams game. There's a pretty questionable calls like in the Eagles and the Bucs game. I mean, all last weekend. I mean, I could at least point to like 1 or 2 calls in each game. Maybe not the blowouts like the Bills game, the Chiefs game, but there are some very like wild calls that kind of ended up just, you know, going, the team going the opposite way that the team wanted it to go. So you know,
even in that Rams game, McVay had to throw 2. He challenged 2 plays for either one of them. I think should have been made on the field. I think that was a very obvious touchdown, and that's a very obvious incompletion. I think either one of those should not have been forced to be reviewed. I think that's just, you know.
Yeah, I agree, and I think, you know, obviously that's been like, you know, a pretty big topic that people have been talking about quite a bit, just because they got all the technology in the world. They got like thousands of angles to look at. They got people from New York like calling in, like saying like, yeah, like that's a catch, or no, he was out of bounds, like all this type of stuff. So, and it's just crazy overall, kind of seeing the games. I mean, like games usually are 3.5 hours long. These games are touching 4 hours just because there's like these lulls, these times where they're taking 15, 20 minutes. It feels like, at least, you know, to look at plays. But no, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a great game this weekend. Like I said, you know, pulling for Stafford. You know, obviously going against the GOAT, that's always one of the things where it's going to be tough. So I already know, I mean, I can see if even if like hell breaks loose, like, and, you know, Brady just going to be out there just, you know, throwing for his life. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to do it, you know, do whatever he can and make sure, regardless of who they missing, like he going to make a way. He going to make a way to, you know, make it to where that game is going to stay close. And you know, so we'll see what happens and see what Stafford can do. Yeah, we're going to shift gears here and talk about any hoop in a while. Wanted to kind of talk about Ben Simmons, some of like the trade, you know, some of that trade buzz is starting to kind of show its face again. We both shared with each other some pretty interesting trades, you know, the last couple of days, some stuff that we saw, one of them being our hometown squad, the Pistons. And I don't know about you, but that made me a little uneasy because, you know, when I started seeing like Sadiq Bey in there, you know, just like, I just kind of want the Pistons to be patient, you know, and obviously we both think Ben Simmons is a great player. I just don't think he's a fit in Detroit. But what are you kind of thinking as far as like, you know, seeing that, and, you know, where does that kind of, and even going deeper than that, you know, we'll talk more about Ben Simmons, obviously, but like, do you think Detroit's getting impatient? You know, like, I don't want them to kind of, you know, settle for that, like, well, he's an all-star, you know, he was good. You know what I'm saying? Like, he still is good. I'm not saying he, you know, like is like lost a step or anything like that. But what do you think is their angle with even trying to like get him and willing to give up as much as they were going to give up for him?
Yeah. So I I guess I was the thing I was most shocked by would be that Sadiq Bey was included.
Yeah.
If that same trade without Sadiq Bey, or that same trade, throw in Josh Jackson or throw in, you know, whoever, I'm not mad at it. I just think Sadiq Bey, I thought would be viewed as more of a cornerstone of what we could build around.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the shocking point came from me. With I personally, if we can go get Ben Simmons, I'm not that mad at it. I really am. I really am not that mad at it. I think you can speed up the process a little bit if you do get him. Now, I think where we could go wrong at is then going and get a bunch of bad contracts to only be like a 4th seed. But I think if we get him and I think him and Cade could play well together. And I think that's two big players, two big point forward type guys. I kind of can see where we're trying to go with it. So I personally am not that mad at it. I could see he's one of the best defenders in the league. You would be getting a lockdown guy for you to go play Giannis or go play people down the future like LaMelo Ball or Ja Morant, whoever you might have to get through in the future out the East. Jason Tatum. I think you're going to have to get a lockdown defender, and you would be getting one of the best ones in the league with him. And if Cade is who we think he is, then I think it could work.
Yeah,
that's my personal opinion on it. Now the most shocking thing for me was seeing Sadiq Bey in there. I think he is a great a great second hand to what Cade is. As far as he can shoot, he can stretch the floor. He's had very, I'm pretty sure he's had a 40-point game, definitely some 30-point games. So I would say he's proven a proven NBA player for 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my biggest question. But
I think, and even for me, I think it's some of my only things. I don't know. I don't love the fit. Like, I guess, you kind of look at the team now. Obviously like with Killian, we're not really know what we're gonna do with him. I mean, I guess you could kind of like maybe like almost replay. Yeah. I mean, what just sucks about him is like he was a 7th overall pick. And he's only averaging like 6 points and 3 assists a game. You would think he'd be one of them decent like trade pieces, to kind of throw in with like, Jeremy Grant to like make it feel a little sweeter. But it's just kind of up in the air right now. I don't know. It would be, kind of interesting to see how like Cade and Ben kind of play because I feel like they're both kind of like. I mean, Cade is a playmaker. Maybe he's not as ball dominant as like Ben Simmons would need to be. So maybe I feel like maybe Cade can work a little bit off the ball. I think my biggest concern is like Ben was already like I only want to go to California pretty much. So it's like, I don't want to be like the he's fine like, oh, all right, whatever. I'll lift the trade clause. I'll go there. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like we'll get paid $40 million. Kind of the Blake Griffin situation. I mean, Blake he tried to do his thing a little bit here and there. Towards the end, it got like a little weird, but I don't want him just playing like 60 games a year. Not playing through injuries or playing through being hurt, not playing through injuries, playing through being hurt. Like stuff like that, where he's kind of just like watching the clock. Like it's just where can I go sign now? I just kind of want Detroit to be like kind of patient too. I get it. Like I think we're kind of like. We like what we see, but we're also just tired of them just getting blown out by like 30 or 40. I'd kind of sacrifice maybe like maybe like another year or two of just kind of being, 11 to like the 15th seed, but like just like having that corridor where it's like we just need that one guy, that kind of pops. You can find him in free agency or make that blockbuster trade. Like I'm totally okay with Jeremy Grant going because they've won like half as many games with him as they did without him. Or they've won, I think they're like 5-4 with them or 5-3 with them, and then they're like 5 and like something without him when he was playing. So I feel like he looks like somebody that can, we could probably get like a number 1 pick for, something along those lines. He's also said that he's not really interested in like just going and be like a role player like he was. Like he kind of does want to be the guy. I wouldn't hate him coming back either, So I just kind of hope they don't like be like, oh, just kind of like see that shiny new toy and just start to kind of throw the house at people just because they may kind of hate their situation where they're at currently, or a team's just trying to like, unload cap space. I don't want to be the cap dumpster guy, for team.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that if Ben Simmons isn't coming to play, then obviously that's completely off the table.
Mm-hmm. You still know what you're going to get.
Yeah. And I would say, I guess I was banking on the fact that he is more upset that everybody threw him under the bus.
Yeah.
And they kind of threw him to the wayside, and for right or wrong for some, we both talked about it on this podcast about how it is detrimental to the team when you're just not shooting shots that make sense, even if you miss them, those type of things. But I would say the difference between him, like what we could have and what they could have is Joel Embiid is now obviously he'll shoot up some shots, but he can't be your primary ball handler.
Right.
And I would say Ben Simmons, obviously he can't shoot, but I would say maybe he could be more of the forward, kind of more like like we said, the Draymond role. You know, we'll run the offense through him. He can get to the basket. He can pass, cut if he doesn't have the ball, and beat a defender. You know, and we can see Cade likes to shoot threes, so I don't think we're gonna have a shy shooter on our team. But no, I definitely agree. I don't want to be the just come here to get rid of the contract. I'm trying to look it up now here, but I just can't pull it up fast enough. But I'll be willing to bet him and Jeremy Grant's contracts probably aren't all that much different. We only had to throw in one other player, and that was Sadiq Bey on a rookie deal.
Yeah.
So when you consider that, it's just like Ben Simmons has a 5-year, $172 that he signed in 2019.
Okay. And Jeremy Grant has a 3-year, $60 million.
That's 20.
I think Ben is closer to like 40, 35 or 30 to 35 a year, I think. But
177 divided by 5. Yeah, 35. So he makes about $15 million more a year. It's weird that we only threw in one other player then. But I would just say I think that's kind of what I'm hoping for, that he would come here and be more of that type of role, and we would surround him. We have still a lot of cap space and Cade to build around, and we would have another cornerstone. Now, am I upset that if I've also looked it up over the last couple of days, and we have our own pick this year, which is going to be more than likely a top 5 pick. Next year, we get Houston's pick and Oklahoma City's pick and our own pick. So that's 3 first-round picks. I'd be willing to bet Houston and Oklahoma City aren't going to be all that good again.
Yeah.
So we're probably sitting there with 3 lottery picks again next year.
Okay, so you go back to Seattle.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. They
yeah. So I'm saying with that in mind, I would say if you look at the bigger picture, if I could see us still being able to get young talent in here, and view the full picture of, you know, and I just think also potentially we're looking at other people like, all right, could he, you know, watch how fast LaMelo Ball turned that around. You know, they're good. They're fun to watch. You know, they have a couple of good young players and they're rolling. And, you know, we could be in that same predicament very shortly. That's with or without Ben Simmons. But I do think potentially he could help.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, it's like, you know, this GM, I mean, he hit – I didn't want to say he missed on Killian yet because it's only been – he didn't even played 100 games yet. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's over, bro.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying – I'll let you finish real quick, but I think I watched a little bit. You said you can't get to the Pistons games because where I'm watching, he's
out there, cardio, running around.
Yeah. Okay. I'm talking just he has them videos of Russell Westbrook breaking off the side of the backboard. I see Killian do that 4 times a game. Yikes. No bullshit. It just – and then I seen something where Derek Walton came in and have average better stats than him.
Yeah, it's like a mental thing for him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't – because, I mean, he's 6'5", like 215. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely like –
on paper, you think, yeah.
Everything you want in a point guard. He can pass for sure. Like, he can definitely pass the ball. He's like a very talented passer. It's just like I mean, even sometimes I still can't even question like that. I mean, not questioning this is where if we should have got Cade or not, but I question that like Cade Killian fit, you know? Like, because Cade can like do everything Killian can do and more. But then it's weird because Killian can't even like, I feel like he's not even like an aggressive passer. I ain't seen him play a whole lot, but whenever I see him play, he's just kind of like, you know, hanging out. Like he's just kind of like, you know, along for the ride, it feels like.
He's averaging 6, 3, and 3.
Yeah, he can't be doing that as a top 7. Like I said, he's
in 25 minutes, 34% from the field.
How old is he?
20.
See, that's
yeah.
We'll see. I forgot what was I about to. No, I think I was going to kind of say. I mean, I feel like knowing that they have a lot of the picks, just kind of like stocked up like that. You know, I still think I'm more on the side of. I know you don't like to disagree, but I'm more on the side of just like write it out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get the enjoyment of just seeing that Cade is like. I think he was like, you know, had like over 500 points, over 100 something assists, 100 something rebounds. the first player to do that since Bron did it when he was like a rookie. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff to me is a lot more encouraging. Because I think even if you look at this, and I feel like too, like when you look at the team, I mean, like you kind of brought up like Charlotte, like they've had some solid draft picks, made some solid moves here and there. So I'm kind of just hoping that they can, get lucky in free agency and kind of pick up one of them like Kelly Oubre type guys. You know what I'm saying? Like Andrew Wiggins type guy. Like, one of them guys that can just kind of come in and like a Harrison Barnes, kind of come in and give you just like I think right now what they're missing is like that wing, that guy that can like, score and defend. I think that's kind of like one of the pieces I hope they can kind of just like, bulk up like their depth at like center and power forward. I also feel like they're a little weak there too. But, all in due time, like I said, I think Ben Simmons, if we was able to get him without giving him Sadiq Bey and like he was coming here like ready to rock, like I'd be like, all right, let's do it. I kind of am concerned where he's at like mentally because he's already been like, yeah, I'm trying to go to like the Clippers or the Lakers, and that's pretty much it.
If it was a Jeremy Grant, one of them picks for next year that ain't ours, and Josh Jackson or Corey Joseph or somebody like that, I wouldn't even second guess. I would like to keep Hayes or Sadiq Bey because I think he's going to be one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, and I think him and Killian, I keep confusing them all now. Him and Cunningham together, I think that's a great duo, and obviously we suck again this year, so we have another top pick coming up, so we should be able to shore up something else. I've been looking; it looks like mostly big guys. The Duke guys there as well.
Hello, Ben Carroll.
Yeah. So I probably wouldn't touch the Chet Holcomb kid, but there's that dude from I literally looked earlier, but there's the guy from Auburn that seems to be real good. I watched his highlight tape earlier. Mm-hmm. So somebody like that, I think we are beginning to make additional steps forward.
So I'd love to be that team that it's just like, all right, like we got all these picks, we got all these young guys. Like now it's like people are looking back like, man, like Detroit, they got Cade, they got Sadiq, they got Isaiah Stewart. Right. Like, and kind of like, I guess like my vision is like, okay, we'll go 10-72 this year. I don't really care because we already knew it was coming. You know what I'm saying? If we can like next year, or this summer, snag like a veteran, you know what I'm saying? A couple guys just like, because I think right now, like our team is just so young. So we can just try to get a couple more than veteran guys in there that, maybe, just kind of need like, at that second, like, be like that spot to like rejuvenate their career or just like, more of that veteran leadership. Maybe we win like 35, 37 games next year. And then it's like we sitting pretty. We got Cade, maybe like Paulo or, some of the other guys that's going to be in this draft next year. And we're really in this free agency, hopefully with a lot of cap space, people are like, okay, like Detroit is on the cusp.
Right.
So
I agree. I think we ain't far off. It's right. I think we're sitting real good. I like pretty much everywhere we're headed. Even being in the mix of potentially getting, I know you don't seem to be that high on it, but even in the mix of that proves that we're trying to win. We're trying to do things. Yeah. We're sold on Cade. And yep. So and I'm just excited. I think it's a great time to be a fan of ours. I think we have like $70 million in cap space.
Yeah.
I think we should just go out and sign every shooter and put them around Cade. And I think, bare minimum, we try to outshoot us, and just just make it exciting. And that's the type of things I see us doing.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I feel like if we can just like how I look at it is like I'm just gonna appreciate them, random wins when they come back from 20 down against the Jazz and beat them. You know what I'm saying? Beat Milwaukee for the first time on the road in like, 20 games or something like that. Like those small victories, like if we can just get one of those, Cade will be in the rookie sophomore game doing his thing, just like starting to at least see like us kind of slowly making our way back onto the map. And then it's like, boom, a couple years from now, we're like relevant again.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I just looked it up just so we can put a name to what I say. His name is Jabari Smith.
Yeah.
6'10", 220.
Yeah, I think Look at that, because look at that starting lineup. You got Cade, you got Killian right now, Sadiq, and then you got Jeremy Grant and then Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can, we could always move Cade to the point, move Sadiq to the 2, and then that 3. That could be Paolo. That could be.
So me. He's shooting 45% from the field and 44% from 3.
That's a dude, Jabari Smith. Yeah. Yeah. Have Cade come off the bench, or Killian come off the bench. Cade at point, Sadiq at 2, Jeremy Grant 3, Jabari Smith and Isaiah Stewart to round it out. I think
he might be coming off the bench for the Shanghai Dragons, but
oh yeah, Corey Joseph probably get in before Killian getting in off the bench. So you're right. We know what Killian is.
No, it's all good. I hope he can do it. Hey, we both said we have 2 top 5 picks coming in this year.
I just thought he knows like Tony Parker. I'm like, he's working with Tony Parker overseas.
Tony Parker's nephew.
Yeah, something like that. I'm like, it's time, I thought he was gonna come out and do his thing, but like I said, he still ain't even played. He ain't even played a full season from a game perspective.
Very
so
true.
Right now, his confidence just looks shot. But
he's young. He young, 20. He's a little younger than I thought he was.
He ain't buying his own beer yet. So
that's true.
Which is nuts. But just real quick before we talk about Michigan basketball, like that one team, kind of like looking at, we halfway through the season almost. Where do you think Ben would fit best at the moment?
It's a tough one. Well, going into the season, I thought it'd be the Warriors. Yeah. I guess I didn't think they'd be this good. So throwing him in the mix there now would probably be, a shit show. That's a tough question. Let me think.
Well, you think I can go? I think.
Yeah, cool.
I think it's a perfect opportunity. Dame is out for like 6 to 8 weeks. Bring over Ben. He plays point until Dame gets back. Move him to that Draymond, point forward role. You got Cade why do I?
Yeah, we keep doing it.
It's up today. You got CJ. Well, if they trade Ben, CJ's probably gone. But you got like that dynamic where you got Ben, you got Dame. And, whatever other pieces they can kind of throw around there, I think this is a good time to kind of,
for sure,
incorporate it.
I agree. That's not a bad. I like that. Maybe if I just had to throw one out there, just like a team that's semi-contender type would be like Boston. Maybe they could, keep Tatum, and get rid of
Jaylen
whatever
Brown
combination you want. Brown or Marcus Smart, or maybe try to figure out whatever combination they could put together there. But
make over 2. We need to.
Yeah, and because I think obviously with Jason Tatum being one of them, he could do whatever type of roles. He will be able to play with him, and he's such a great player. He's such a dynamic player. It's going to be interesting to see what he comes out and does. Is he going to come out firing? Is he I don't know. We don't even know what he looks like. We ain't seen him since he was scored 4 points.
I mean, we might not at this point. We might not see him until next season. I mean, we see the trades that they're turning down.
It's crazy. He ain't playing just because he ain't playing. He is the wildest shit.
And now they're trying to throw Tobias in there. So that's $80 million in contracts that they trying to unload, which is going to be tough. So I'm shocked that they're saying no to some of these deals because these guys when it come draft me, I don't know. I guess anything can happen. Trade deadline is a month away, but that Sacramento Kings trade, I'd rather have Buddy Hield and a couple of Halliburton. I'd rather have
you're wasting Embiid's healthy season, his prime. They're pretty solid now without an all-star player. You know what I mean? What the fuck?
Yeah. And I'd rather take Hield and Halliburton over Tobias Harris. That's touching 30.
I mean, I know you love Buddy Hield, but Buddy Hield's a sniper shooter. So you put Buddy Hield out there, then that's a perfect combo with that goes like bread and butter. Big centers and stretching the floor with shooters.
Yep.
And then I like Tyrese Halliburton. I like all of them.
He's Ben Simmons without the defense.
Yep. And we could have had him the year. I think we got Hayes. But because I just remember that kid from Iowa State. I just remember
Yep.
That's a team I always randomly watch. I kind of like them. And
could have had him. Could have had Toppin. Could have had.
hey, it happens.
It is. But yeah.
We literally could have been. That could be our Miles and Ball is Cade Toppin.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's one. Yeah, that's one where I'm like, we already know Detroit got a lot of draft, fails over the last.
A lot of woes. Yeah.
Yeah. So we won't. I don't want to get too worked up. So we'll. I mean, it's also. I guess this will kind of work us up too, though. Talking about Michigan basketball. I mean, just they started off, sixth in the country. Started off 4-3, and then lost like 4 or 5 games in a row. Had some issues with COVID. Played. I think after COVID, I saw that the effort definitely increased. I mean, they lost to Illinois by like 15, but they were also like within like 2 points up until like 5 minutes left to go in the second half, and they didn't have Hunter. They showed up yesterday, beat Maryland by like 20. I think they have a pretty big time matchup this weekend. I think they play Saturday or Sunday. So tournament looking kind of grim. I mean, I guess, what are you thinking as far as like where they might be, come that time?
Yeah, I guess I have like different chapters to how I feel. Like going into the season, I thought there's no way we're not Elite Eight, Final Four type team.
Mm-hmm.
And then we didn't look so hot, and I was like, oh, we're just trying to figure it out. We have too many good players. That's what I was telling myself. We can't figure out the lineup. We can't figure out who worked with what yet. That's what I was telling myself all while we were struggling, like through the 4-3 range.
Yeah.
And then I seen us lose a couple of like to Seton Hall and to teams like that, and I was just like, oh, it's kind of a punch in the gut. And then so I went to, we're just not that good, and it's odd because I think individually we have lots of talent.
Yeah.
Hunter Dixon's good. Houston's good. The guy that Jones that transferred in, he was great out of in the division he came from. But I think for some reason putting it all together, it just ain't gelling.
Yeah.
There are no shooters. For some reason, Hunter Dixon, we can't go to like the bread and butter of him just on the block like last year. That was unstoppable.
Yeah.
I thought just giving him the ball in the post would get us to 15 wins. So I just think there's a lot of weird stuff happening. I think this is a kind of a test to what we're going to see from Juwan Howard. Can he pull this? Can he pull the reins in when this shit is going off the rails?
Mm-hmm.
Can he pull it in? Can he get us refocused? Have a great next like 6 weeks, and we could be sitting there looking not that bad for the tournament type run. If we knock off a couple of teams like we spoke about before we hopped on camera, if we can beat a Wisconsin, if we can get a State and get some type of momentum, I could see us sliding in, but it's not, maybe best case scenario, we finish out. I think we got to get to that 20-win mark. And I think, we could probably maybe be like an 8 or 9 seed, somewhere around there. But we got to get to 20 wins, and we got to have some type of statement win for somebody that matters. And hopefully Juwan Howard can rein it in and let them all. It's not all glitz and glamour, and it's not going to be easy. And hopefully, just try to muster up.
Just put up a fight. Like, yeah. So I'm looking at the schedule now. I mean, they got Indiana on Sunday, Northwestern on Wednesday, State next weekend, Nebraska at Purdue, Penn State, in Ohio, Iowa, at Wisconsin, Rutgers, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio State. So that's what, like 10, 12, 10 to 13 more games. I mean, we need at least like 7 to like.
I think we have less games than I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 more games.
Yeah.
And there's and a couple of those might be getting rescheduled because I think they were supposed to play Purdue a couple of days or like last week. They got postponed. So 15. But yeah, I think we need at least like 8 to 9 wins. I got to beat everybody that's not ranked and then try to steal one of them games against one of them top-ranked teams. I don't know. I just feel like, and I kind of say this jokingly, but not really. The only positive of all this is a lot of these guys like that we thought were going to be only there for a year. They won't have to come back now. So it's like that might be something a little bit to look forward to. But yeah, I mean, I think like I said it before, it's going to be on Howard. He just has to figure out like, who can play and, who to play who with. Obviously, COVID didn't help. He lost a couple games just off of like not having bodies. So it's just a matter of like understanding the rotations, and you hope that Caleb Houston will start to kind of gain more confidence. He played pretty well yesterday. Devontae Jones, I mean, he's been playing a lot better. He still sometimes just looks like it looks like hard for him. I don't know. Like I'm not trying to like talk down on him or anything, but it looks like Big Ten basketball is like a challenge to him. Like so he's still I feel he's kind of like trying to find his way. Hunter, I mean, I see him, he's getting doubled a lot, but he's also, I feel like he's taking a couple steps back this year. Just, here or there. It's nothing like crazy to like, hit the panic button on, but and you just got to hope at this point, it's mid-January, in college basketball is one of the things. You always see them teams that kind of be around 500 and they just get hot. Mm-hmm. I think the magic number for Michigan, like, so you got 15 games left. They're 8-7 right now. And the magic number would probably be like 16 or 17 wins.
Yeah.
And I think if they can do that, go into the tournament, Big Ten tournament, make it like the semis, play tough. I think just based off of the conference they play in and who they are and, their previous success in the tournament, like you said, 8 or a 9 seed, I think that's something that they'll, definitely be able to be in the mix for, but just got to find a way at this point.
Agreed. And obviously Juwan Howard is a very young coach when it comes to I'm just, while you were talking, I'm thinking about I think Dickerson is probably his guy.
Yeah.
But from last year, Wagner wasn't his guy. Isaiah Livers wasn't his guy. So those were the top. Yeah. So all those guys were been there before he got there, was around the system. And I said, so he kind of has to figure out the great mix. Yeah, it's great to go get these 5-star players, but it's also great to get these 3- and 4-star guys that are going to be here and know that, similar to like an Eli Brooks. Eli Brooks has been on that team forever, but he's a Beeline kid as well, but he's there thick and thin. He's going to hit them timely shots. He knows the playbook. He's not selfish. He can shoot. You're just going to have to go get certain players that, they might not be the highest recruited, but they can just play the system well. And you need to figure out what type of role players you need that are always going to have to be around. Yeah. And I would say and maybe we don't know, maybe a couple of them got stole from them at the last minute or didn't come or whatever the situation is. But I would say he's proven that we're missing pieces that are impossible to win without.
Yeah.
And that's just shooting, spreading the floor. We wouldn't be to double Dickinson if we had, if we still had a equivalent of an Eli Brooks or Isaiah Livers out there, or an equivalent of a Mo Wagner shooter out there, or somebody like that, or Franz Wagner, I should say. It's just kind of
And I also say
there's a couple of things that still need to happen.
Right, and I also say too, I think, and like I'm just kind of coming to the realization, like these seasons just happen.
Mm-hmm.
State was horrible last year. Kentucky was horrible last year. A lot of times, even Duke was pretty bad. I mean, obviously, COVID kind of played a factor in some of that stuff here and there. But, it's just hard to, maintain that type of energy. We've been joking about how Michigan kind of turned into a basketball school in the last, 10, 12 years.
Right.
It was, 3 Final Fours or, 2 runner-ups, 3 or 4 Final Fours, 4 or 5 Elite Eights, Sweet 16 multiple times. Sometimes programs kind of go on these lulls where these roller coasters. I think the talent is there. I think I just like you said, they're just kind of missing them like glue guys. I think they need a little bit more size too. But it'd just be interesting to see how they're able to kind of put it together. Hopefully they can, squeeze in there, maybe knock off, a team or something in the tourney, and then it's giving us that momentum,
right.
To go into next year. But like I said, I mean, I feel like now it's kind of how things have unfolded. Like it might be one of the things where Caleb might come back, Yabate might come back, Hunter might be, coming back next year to where, and I'm not like giving up hope in the season already. I just,
that's what it's looking like. Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like looking that way, and I mean that's, kind of ideal for Juwan. If they all would all came in here going crazy, and we did whatever we would have did.
Yeah, we had to reload
all them guys, and then trying to, what I'm saying, like that's not really like we're Michigan, but we ain't like the Kentucky in basketball. You know what I'm saying, like the Duke or the North Carolinas, where they can just like they getting like 1 through 5, just 5 stars coming in. So I feel like this is. It's one of them things, it'll probably end up, 18 and 11, something like 18 and 12. It kind of be a down season, but definitely still love what Juwan's been doing for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like the enthusiasm overall. I just think now is when, you kind of he won the coach of the year last year, right?
Yep.
But this is when you win the coach of the year. It's when it's not going well. Mm-hmm. When everything's going bad and the players probably want to quit and the recruits that we were hyping up over the phone that are still in high school aren't answering the phone as much. And, all of that, this is when you become coach of the year, is when it's bad, not when it's good. And so I would say just have them finish strong in that. And like you said, that the program we're all bigger than a program. So we have to put it together for this program to look well because we're all on this ship together. Yeah.
Yep.
That's I agree.
Yeah. So, we'll see what happens. Football's over. So I've really been like tuning in now, trying to catch all the games. I like what I saw last night. I even like what I saw Friday when they got blew up by 15. So it's just a matter of time, before they got like a decent little stretch. They play some teams. I don't know how good the Big Ten is as a whole, quite, right now. I haven't watched a ton of them, but, if they can rip off 4 or 5 in a row and get hot mid-February, March, you never know what can happen. So,
no, I agree. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm going to start tuning in a little bit more too. Yeah, I mean, like you said, football is over, minus the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And, March be here before we know it.
Yeah, it's around the corner. Definitely is around the corner. Like it was kind of shocking. I was counting up. They only had 15 games. I mean, that's like 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So
6 weeks out from March.
Yep.
I was booking loads today and work for March.
You know?
Yeah. Thanks.
That's crazy. Okay, it's they got time, so we'll see what happens. That being said, that's all I got. You got anything else for him?
No, sir. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back at it next week.
Yep, till next time.